everyone, hope you're having a great start to the week. Thanks for joining us on an all-new episode of the American Mailbag alongside Andy Gresh. I'm Haley Outen. Andy, I have some beautiful words for you this week. Brace yourself.
I'm getting paid?
You've got mail.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Questions.
We have a ton of mail. Absolutely.
This is the show where you at home control what we talk about, and people are starting to catch on because we've got a lot of questions to get to this week.
think it was the questions that your mom sent in last week that put it over the top and got everybody fired up and said, we don't need Haley's mom's questions.
Well, we're still going to get some questions from Haley's mom, but thanks to my mom for inspiring all of you at home to get on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and send us your questions. So, Andy, we've got some repeat customers, and we're going to give those fans some love first because they are loyal people. All
there
right.
we go.
All right, Will Sports, he wants to know, do you think Temple should have been in this week's AP poll after defeating number 21 Maryland last week?
You would think so, Haley, but there's a whole process in how that works with these rubes who vote for it in terms of the college football rankings. And normally you have to receive some votes and then you get a win, and it's almost like waiting your turn. Someone loses and somebody falls out and then people slide up. So I think it's probably 2 more weeks before we see Temple firmly entrenched in that top 25. You would think they would have replaced the team who was number 21 in the country, but unfortunately that's not how that works.
Well, exciting win for Temple, though. We're going to talk about that this week later. All right, All Day AAC, they want to know who right now would you consider the front runner in the West Division?
Well, I guess I got to go Memphis because we know Houston is kind of taking it on the chin a little bit. When you can score 28 to 35 points a game, it gives you tons of room for cushion. We're now approaching the league portion of the season, so there's a lot of institutional familiarity amongst the coaching staffs. I would say Memphis right now.
All right, Nick Mill, 21, who last week you confused for Meek Mill.
Meek Mill, Robert Kraft, my good friend Meek Mill.
For Tulane to win Thursday against Houston, does that mean keeping King in the pocket, preventing him from scrambling and running the ball?
A little bit, but I think a bigger factor for Tulane is them running the ball and possessing it. They had a great time of possession last week, and when I look at it, if you can put the Houston defense on the field for 40 minutes. I don't know if Tulane's going to be able to hold it that long, but if they can win the time of possession by, say, 15 minutes, then that kind of takes care of itself in terms of trying to hem King in the pocket. That and an early lead. Possess the ball and get an early lead, and you really negate some of what De'Aaron King can do with his leg.
We got a question from Tulane Video. They say, hey, Andy, which American Conference team has the best video Twitter account?
Well, since I don't follow them on Twitter, I'm going to hand it to you. What do you think, Haley?
Wow, I think you can't put me in that position to answer this question.
I know, that's why I wanted to do it.
All 12 or 13 during basketball season,
that's right.
All video accounts. They help us out here a great deal.
They do a great job. However, they haven't incorporated me into their video yet, so I still have to knock them down a couple of pegs.
I think what we take away from this question is that you owe Tulane Video a follow on Twitter.
I guess so. Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Well, they'll follow me back and find out how I yell at everyone on Twitter at times.
Yeah, they may unfollow you on Twitter.
All right. That's true.
Question from, hopefully I am saying this correct, John Shua. Is Temple's defense the best in the league?
Ooh, a little too early to be able to make those kind of declarations just yet, but they're pretty good. I mean, let's face it, look at what they did against Maryland, how they were able to turn the ball over. You got to like their start. I'm a little leery of saying this team's the best and this team is the best. Here's to me when we'll know, Haley. Give me second week of October when we start to see teams that are familiar with each other in the American go against each other. I'm not saying that, look, I think the American has been very competitive in their non-conference schedule. They've played so-called big boy teams. They've played everybody. They've beaten a lot of teams out there. But this conference, the American Athletic Conference, is better than the Pac-12. I said that last week, and I think it's been proven out. So let's see a couple of weeks of conference play, and then we'll really be able to know who has the best units in the league. Although Temple, right now, you'd have to say, one of the top 3.
Let's go to my mom. We can't make her wait too long, right?
Okay.
All right. She wants to know which team has the best chance to spoil UCF's season, but she's only going to give you 3 picks. She thinks it's either Temple, Memphis, or Cincinnati.
Those are pretty good picks. You could tell that your mom has watched on the American Digital Network and gets her info. I'm going to go with Cincinnati just because I think you had the quarterback who grew last year. They have the running game. And overall, they're not sloppy with the football. And to me, if you're going to beat UCF, you better have all three phases of the game buttoned up, and you better be able to take care of the ball. That and some running game to be able to keep that UCF offense off the field. So I'll go Cincinnati, but I'll tell you right now, UCF in a prove-it spot. I know it's my whole big theme this week of the whole prove-its. They're going to Pitt. They win that one, UCF's got a great chance to run the table.
Question from Mark Risto. Based on total statistics through the third week, who is the top quarterback in the conference?
Oh, my goodness. Everybody loves De'Aaron King, and I do too, but the numbers haven't been great. Anthony Russo's kind of shown up a little bit. Desmond Ridder is in there as well. I'm going to kind of cop out a little bit here, Haley, and say the quarterbacks of UCF, because to me, we've learned about the collective group. And it'd be great to be able to pick one of them, right? Whether it's Gabriel or Wimbush, but I just can't do that. To me, I'll go by quarterback situation. The best one is UCF. I think the most talented quarterback in the conference is De'Aaron King, but there's clearly some issues there in terms of the transition they're making to Dana Holgerson's offense.
All right, speaking of De'Aaron King in Houston, Pete Mays wants to know, despite their record, do you see the Houston Cougars still as a potential American West Division and Conference champion? They're 1-2 up to this point in this season with losses to Oklahoma and Washington State.
Sadly, I don't, because they lost a lot on defense. I don't think they have the impact players like they had Ed Oliver last year, even though there were times where Ed Oliver kind of tapped out a little bit and didn't want to play to protect his NFL career, and there's a part of me that can understand that. But they're just going through a big transition right now. And it doesn't mean that Holgerson is the wrong pick as coach. It doesn't mean De'Aaron King can't play or that they don't have talent. I just think right now there's a transformation going on to where, you know, when the previous administrations, there was kind of a seamlessness to go from Tom Herman and then you keep Major Applewhite. Now you're doing things a little differently, and I think it's going to take time to get that set up. They're still a bowl team, but I don't see them as the West Division champ.
Well, a lot of people are looking forward to this game apparently on Thursday night between Tulane and Houston, prime time on ESPN. And Tulane Football Buzz, they want to know, what can the national TV audience on Thursday expect to see and learn about these two teams?
Well, I think for Houston, people are going to say, whoa, where did that high-powered offense go? There's going to be some questions there. And with Tulane, it's going to be, you know, I hate to say it this way, but there are going to be a lot of people who are like, wow, Tulane's really good again, and they don't have Sean King. Like, you know, they're going to go back to the biggest point that they can reference with a star quarterback, because there are a lot of people who do forget about a bunch of teams in college football. You know, you're aware of the teams in the league, but in terms of intently following them and having a reason to, it's been a while. It's been building with Willie Fritz at Tulane, but it hasn't popped. This year it has the chance to really pop for them and for much more people from a 30,000-foot view to get the green wave.
I saved what I think might be the toughest question for last.
Oh,
so
boy.
this one comes
It's got to be food
from
related.
Joshua Evans. Surprisingly, nothing to do with food.
A hot dog is a sandwich, by the way.
Luckily, we don't have to have that debate right now. But this question is in regards to Memphis.
Yep.
Joshua has been apparently following along. He has heard your thoughts and comments on
Sure.
Memphis over the course of the year. So he wants to know, will you finally respect Memphis, Andy? If they go undefeated, what will it take to earn that respect from you?
Well, a little bit of balance, right? So if they go undefeated, but they're beating people 65-40, I'm still going to be all over their defense because they're playing with fire. How about this? Go undefeated first and then see the reaction. Let's go step one versus step two. How about that?
Okay, well, we'll have to wait and see. Gives us something to really look
Of course
forward
it does.
to come the end of the season.
It's the thread that we will have throughout this show. We'll pin Josh's thing up there, right?
Yes.
And it'll be, you know.
We will revisit this. I will circle
sure.
this one. We will come back.
That's fine. Yeah,
right.
Let's revisit that in a month.
Okay, 1 month. Joshua, tune in 4 weeks from now. We are going to have to keep coffee and donuts coming because hopefully you're okay. I refueled from all these questions.
Yeah. No, this
Very
was
good.
very good. I love the feedback. It's better than like 5 questions from your mom, and we love your mom jumping in, but we have other people out there as well.
All right, well, keep them coming. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we will find them. Use the hashtag AskAndyFB if you want to be featured on our show. All right, looking forward to another great week. Make sure to join us Wednesday night for an all-new episode of the American Huddle. We're going to look forward to week 4 of the college football season. We'll see you then.